Hey, Tony with Culinary Seasons. And in this Exploring the Source interview, we are going to meet Philippe Garcia, a Boulanger from Lyon, France, right here in the Rogue Valley. He owns Philippe's Bread. You might also know him as Philippe the Baker. As he puts it, he's bringing a taste of France to the Rogue Valley. His Hearth Baked Artisan Bread is definitely some of the best authentic French-style breads in the Rogue Valley. Let's jump right into learning about Philippe Garcia's history and about making his artisan breads. The bread that you make, I've had some of it. I haven't tried all of them, and it's amazing. And I can see why you've gained this following. And can you tell us what types you make?
Yeah,
what the styles are?
What I call it, like the traditional baguette is really like a baguette made with a pouliche and two starters. I use like a pouliche and a biga in a way, like so pâte fermentée, the biga, and then the pouliche, which is equal amount of water and flour. But the important thing is like you ferment almost half of the flour you use for the baguette, like the day before with like a teeny bit of yeast, but it's a long fermentation process. Like so overall, you get one baguette that has a lot of flavor in crumb and crust too. Crust, like when it's fully in sour, of course, what I advise everyone is to warm up the bread like home to get the crust back again. But the crumb has a very nice flavor, very sweet, a little tangy but sweet and yeah, flavorful, like a lot of aroma, like aroma.
Yeah.
That's my number one bread. Beside that, I do a country bread, pain de campagne. It's a pain de campagne because in France you need to put like some rye flour in the pain de campagne. Like originally, that's where the bread was made from. You know, rye flour.
Yeah.
Wheat, yes, but rye flour is very important. Yeah. So there's the pain de campagne, the country bread that I do with my own starter. And then from there, I do the pain viennois, which is a buttery baguette close to the brioche. That's something you find in all French bakeries. And from there, from this same dough, you have the baguettes, baguette viennoise, or you have some little buns or little hamburgers. So like that's what a bun, some buns.
That's what you make your burger buns out of too?
That's yeah. And people really like this one. Like I sell like a regular amount on weekends at a shop and cart, and people like the flavor because there's good ingredients, fair amount of butter, eggs, milk, like of course flour, like the free with the milk, eggs, and butter combination.
Yeah.
It's kind of very nice and very.
It does have a very light texture to it. And you said you also make some hot dog buns.
Hot dog buns.
But people use them as sandwich.
Yeah, they make like I've got people who come here on my curbside pickup just to get the sandwich because they like to make their sandwich out of this bread. Like the free, I've got basically 4 different doughs. Like I mean the baguette, what I call the traditional baguette, the country bread, pain campagne. I've got the pain complet, the whole wheat multigrain bread, yeah. And then I've got the viennois, Viennese, yeah, and the brioche too. Like so actually that's six different doughs, and I do everything on the weekend, like for my curbside pickup, and most of it that I sell here at the shop and cart store.
Yeah, and your equipment you have 3-deck ovens that have a stone.
Like it's a real it's a real stone. I mean, it's not made of stone anymore, but it's a refractory cement, and it's a electric deck oven, but it works very nice with I have a steam injection system, yeah. So it's a very well designed French oven, like you can see in France in some stores, like retail stores. Like it's I don't have a huge oven. I have a good size, but at least I can. The quality for the baking is perfect for what I make and what I bake.
Yeah, definitely those stone ovens really make a big difference with the steam injection for the style of bread you're making.
You know, crust but they're very once they warm up, they keep the heat, and it's very and you can bake over and over. You know.
Yeah, and what do you call the riser?
It's a loader. It's like basically a canvas loader where you can. It's much easier and way more handier than the peel, because you on the canvas you can put the baguettes so they keep like a very straight shape, and you can load up to 10 baguettes on every deck. So when I do like one entire load, I bake 30 baguettes at once, and the result is good because the baguette is straight, gives the right shape to the baguette, and it's very crusty at the end, very nice for the flavor at the end. I love chatting with people like about bread, and every time people have questions about like how did you end up here, and what about your background history, like because there's not like a lot of French bakers like here like around like in town, so like I end up chatting about where I come from, Lyon, the days where I used to have my bakery, and then from there, we end up studying about what I'm doing here, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before being a baker, I was doing like some sound recording, like in studios, and
Yeah.
I ended up like in New York, like with a visa and working for like a recording studio. Like I was doing working as an assistant engineer, but I was looking more about those cafes and beautiful bakeries they have in New York, and I decided to learn with one French bakery, like a cafe that still exists in like La Tropézienne, like in Spanish Harlem, yeah, in New York.
Yeah.
And that's where I started to learn my apprentice, like my skills for bread. Yeah,
You went back to France to study bread.
yeah, like I was looking for a school, like still being in New York, to learn more about the technical side of baking. Recipes, all the different things you need for to be a baker, and but New York is like all the schools, baking school are very expensive. Like I decided to go to France to a national school, which is a national institute to learn bread and pastries, so way more affordable, and passed the national diploma as a baker, as a bread baker. Yeah. And from there, like I stayed in France and went back to my hometown in Lyon to take over by like a bakery, Boulanger, that I named the baker's boy, the garçon boulanger, and I had this bakery for myself as the owner and baker for almost 8 years, like in Lyon. Yeah. So that's where I get all my experience and knowledge, and I would say even contact with people. I had a very good clientele, retail mostly, a few restaurants, but doing a lot of baguette and bread for this part of Lyon, my local clientele, like in town, yeah. And
So what you're doing here in the Rogue Valley is basically the same thing you were doing there.
like pretty much the bread is pretty much the same, for I mean my baguette, even what I call my country, bread, sourdough. That's pretty much the same recipe, the same style, like for sure.
You owned your bakery for 8 years in France.
In Lyon, like yeah, le garçon boulanger in French, but that's baker's boy in English, yeah.
Yeah. And then when did you come over to the United States then?
Like me and my wife, American wife that I met in Lyon actually, like we moved from here in 2000. That was 2009. And we moved first to Napa, like where I worked for a while as a head baker in. So that was my first American bakery in Napa, the Molo Bakery. From there, We moved to the coast, like same thing. I started like smaller bakery, but a very nice bakery on the coast in Mendocino County.
Coast,
So
okay.
it's called the Fort Bragg Bakery. Yeah, the cafe at the start, stopped the cafe, but still do a lot of wholesale in local stores in Mendocino, Fort Bragg, and Ukiah. So it's all on the coast. Yeah. So I stayed here for almost 6 years, 5.5 years. From then Portland, and from there after this short project, like we ended up from Portland to Ashland, where basically I started to work as a baker for a market of choice. But then again, I wanted to do my own bread again, so I started my own, bakery from home, and then having my own equipment now.
And you did Talent Evening Market, was it? Or Talent?
Yeah, like the talent. Yeah, for what I used to bake home, like a talent evening market. That's the Fridays, like in the summer, like got me a name in a way. I'm known for my brioche, my baguette, my pain campagne, country loaf.
Yeah.
Same thing that I'm doing now, so that was like good to meet people here locally.
Yeah.
And then I finally got like a commercial kitchen where I could bring all my equipment, have all my baking equipment, and that's pretty much where I am now. I'm still hoping I can get like my own like kind of like spot somewhere where I can have like a bread counter where I can sell bread,
And you've gained a big following here just through your building your business here.
Yeah, good between talent evening market and my curbside pickup that I do here on the weekend. But I got a good following, because there's no like a lot of bakers with my history and past away here, a few. But that's I got people got to appreciate what I was bringing, the different things from my baguette, the pain viennois or the brioche or those very French kind of like recipes.
So you're at Shopping Cart here in Ashland.
Then the Medford Food Co-op, yeah.
Yep.
And where else? Like the Cheese Cave, my friend's Melody, like was the Orion Cheese Cave. Yeah. And that's the one of my favorite spot, just like the Talent Evening Market, where I used to come every Saturday and sell my baguettes, my country bull, and the brioche. So that's one place. I mean, they order me bread and I deliver, at Melody, like on Sunday morning. I deliver whatever order with some brioche and things, whatever they want. Other people, they go to some stores like Shop and Cart or the Co-op in Medford. They know they can get my bread there, so I make a special trip to get my bread in those stores.
Nice. And then you also have online ordering.
Yep, I
Yeah.
do. I do for my curbside pickup on weekends, on Saturday. People can order online. It's a late pickup, like a late afternoon pickup, because I make a lot of bread quantity wise, bread that I sell in stores. But people are fine. At least what they like is they can get the bread fresh, out of the oven at the end of the day, and they can bring a fresh loaf, for their Saturday dinner or something for breakfast Sunday, something fresh and nice. The thing that people like about my curbside pickup on weekends, on Saturdays, late afternoon, it's like they can they can see where I actually make my bread with all my equipment, my French equipment. Yes, I do have French equipment here in town, yeah.
Yeah.
And they get like a fresh, the smell when they come, they always like the smell, smell of the bread, what I bake, but they can get like a fresh, like a loaf of bread, or like at the end of on the weekend, on Saturdays.
Yeah. It's also good you do the order, so if somebody has a special occasion they want to order for,
Of course,
they can get the exact bread that they're looking for.
The exact bread and quantity, like rolls, like rolls for dinner rolls, like.
Yeah, I don't know if you mentioned the epi baguette.
Epi baguette, yeah, like it's same thing. Epi baguette, that's on demand. But the brioche, like I only sell it on the curbside, like with chocolate brioche, cranberry walnut, cherry almond. I do one with raisins, golden raisins. But that's pretty much four. I do plain, yeah. I know I've demands for some like bread class too, like for home bakers or like people who have like a really like a passion and hobby about the bread, yeah. So that's something that I hope to do, like same thing in the future. Like I'm hoping I can find another place like where I could make some small class on like a bread class about people who want to have like who are dreaming about making like a good baguette, like with their own small equipment. Like,
Yeah, definitely home is different than commercial style.
Yeah, of
There's
course,
there's different aspects to home baking.
But because I went back to doing my bread in my kitchen first before renting a commercial kitchen with better equipment, I got into the little tricks and things you can do to get a good baguette. Like, you don't do 1,000 baguette, of course, but a few baguettes out of your own kitchen using your own equipment and even hands, like to knead the bread.
Yeah.
So that's one experience that I got at the start myself to make my own bread, but I like to kind of like to teach.
While Philippe is not in a place where he could feasibly do a class on baking at home, maybe one day he could share his knowledge with us in the right setting. I want to thank Philippe for doing the Exploring the Source interview for Culinary Seasons. Don't forget to pick up some of Philippe's breads to get a taste of France right here in the Rogue Valley. You can find his breads at the Ashland Shopping Cart, the Medford Food Co-op, and at the Oregon Cheesecake. Or you can order it online to pick up on Saturdays in Ashland.